Good morning, here's my outfit of the day. Today I'm wearing a very faint pink sweater from Old Navy and a body shaper underneath that is also from Old Navy. I'm wearing some gray slacks from New York & Company that I've had for several years. I'm wearing some gray flats that I believe were also from New York & Company a long time ago. My silver fossil watch. My bracelet from Tiffany's that is very old, and then this necklace here that I believe is from Old Navy also. So happy Monday. I'll talk to you in a few minutes. It is 7:22 and it is Monday morning and I'm on my way to work. So I'm feeling a little bit better this morning. I did not go to the gym all week last week because I was not feeling well. And this morning is my first time going back in a week, so I feel better about myself in that regard. And this is the beginning of the week where I have to wait to see what happens with my transfer request. So hopefully I can be distracted for the week and not think about it too much, because whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. So as far as my weekend, Saturday I went out to my parents' house. One of my relatives is moving out of state, and she brought all the pictures that she's collected over the decades for us to all kind of look through and pull out ones that we wanted, so that she wasn't taking just a ton of pictures with her. She kept the ones that she wanted prior to giving us what she had, and then we met up as a family at my mom's house, sifted through them and pulled out pictures we wanted. I got a few little treasures of my family back in our younger days, back in the day when life was easier. So that is what I did on Saturday. I had every intention of also getting some work done while I was at my mom's house, but I just didn't get it done. Also on Saturday, I ran a couple errands, went to the credit union. I cooked dinner early for my sister because I knew I was going to be at my mom's house and she was going to come home looking for dinner, so I made a Blue Apron meal. And someone just asked me on YouTube or in last week's vlog, do I still cook Blue Apron meals? And I do. So I have a subscription, a single person subscription, and then my sister has a separate subscription, so we get 2 shipments a week. And the reason we did that and not the family plan is because my sister is not intending to live with me forever, so she wants to be able to maintain her own account. Plus, from a couple of friends, I've heard the family plans don't come with as many options as the single plan. So we chose to have 2 separate single plans instead of one family plan, and that also allows us to try all the options for the week, because we each pick 3 and then we coordinate it so that we're not picking the same 3, although that has happened once where we got a shipment of the exact same food. So that is what I did Saturday. Yesterday, my biggest accomplishment was I did not take a nap. I wanted to really bad, but I woke up around 9:30, and what did I do when I woke up? I woke up, I got dressed, my mom came over for a minute to pick something up, and then I went to the grocery store, and I went to Target, and came home, had a late breakfast, drank a cup of coffee, resisted the urge to take a nap, paid my bills, took care of some financial things, cleaned up my office because I had mail everywhere, and scheduled some appointments that I needed to schedule, and then I cooked and graded part of last week's math test. I'm right in the middle of that. I haven't finished. So that was my weekend. As far as today, after school I have a meeting with the parent to talk about her son's grades and what I think are some strategies for her. And then I have to meet with my grade level and the principal to go over our end of the year activities in terms of, are we still going to be doing some of the 5th grade activities that are special to 5th grade at the end of the year, given the fact that we had some issues with the parent last year. What is that going to look like? Are we going to change anything? There's this big question as to whether or not the field trip that we had planned is going to happen, because the person that helps to organize school functions at this particular place, Castle Park, I believe, is what I said, is giving us a hard time with parent volunteers. So last year was our first time going to this place, and we had an unlimited amount of parent volunteers, meaning we told our parents, if you want to come, you can. You just have to know that you're paying for your admission and anything else you choose to do there. And what was nice about it is that as in exchange for coming to this field trip, every parent had to work like a 1 hour to 2 hour shift to help monitor the different parts of this little theme park that we took the kids to. And it worked really well. We had a sign-in sheet, there was a schedule, we had all the phone numbers of parents so that while we were at the park in different places, we can text and check in and make sure kids are checking in with them. And it is really the sole reason that we were able to take the kids to a place like this and allow them to kind of roam about. Now, mind you, this park is closed to the public on this day, so it wasn't like we took them to this park and it was open to the public and we were just saying roam free. It was just our school and a couple of other schools. This year, for whatever reason, the person that's in charge over there of organizing this is telling us that we can only have, I think, like 3 adults or something very minimal in comparison to what we had, which doesn't really work for the system that we have in place. So the principal called the park and to see if they could speak to this person's supervisor, because this person has not been the most helpful in getting this done. And I think we're waiting to hear back from someone. So we don't want to switch the field trip because the kids are really looking forward to it. You know, it was a good experience last year. They had a lot of fun, and we would hate to have to find something else that's not quite going to be the same and probably not going to be quite as much fun and feel as much of a privilege as what this would. So I think that maybe we're going to find out about that or discuss what our plan is about that after school, because it is now that time of the year. It is March. We are on spring break next week, and this is about to be the crazy time of year for 5th grade with end of the year activities and field trips and promotion practice and all of that. So that is what's on my agenda today. If I'm not too tired, I also need to go to the mall and get some batteries replaced in a couple watches, because just about all my watches, the batteries have died, and I've been doing it a couple at a time, because if I put them all in at once, I would be spending well over $100 to get that done. So that's what is on LaTanya's agenda for Monday. So I will talk to you guys a little bit later. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. And I just scored the very front parking lot at school, so it's going to be a good day. I'm parked right in front of the school. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. It's 3:55. I am in my room, obviously, cleaning up, getting ready to go home for the day. I just finished not too long ago having a meeting with our principal and our grade level to go over our end of the year activities with citizenship points and everything. For the most part, we are not having to change anything this year per our school district, but word on the street is that eventually we will have to change it, possibly come next year. So for the most part, it's going to stay the same. You might tweak a couple of things here and there. We're also going to have a parent meeting to go over the end of the year calendar for 5th grade students and parents, because it tends to get a little hectic with promotion and things like that. And then we're going to start recruiting some help for our end of the year committees that help with promotion. So we have it's like graduation, but we call it promotion. So the 5th graders are transitioning to middle school. So typically over the past 3 years. I think this will be our 3rd year doing it this way. We have a group of parents that volunteer to help decorate the multi-purpose room, which is where we have the promotion ceremony. Then we have parents that go out and get donations for our 5th grade classroom auctions. Then we have parents that sell raffle tickets for priority seating at our promotion. And so to entice the parents to help on these committees, we offer parents who help on any one of those committees priority seating for the actual day of the promotion ceremony. Because unless you get there super early, you may be sitting all the way back in the multi-purpose room, and so you can barely see your child and it's packed in there. So as a thank you, they get not front row seats, but very near the front. So we were trying to get all of that situated and organized and kind of talking about whether or not there were things we needed to change for different reasons. So it sounds simple, but it got a little complicated in terms of making sure that things were fair, making sure that things were equitable for everybody. And that was pretty much the gist of it. So we set up a couple meetings. No, actually we set up one meeting in which we're gonna talk about a couple of things. And I had a parent meeting after school with a student. Sorry, I feel like something's on my lip. With a student who is just a tough cookie to crack. Is that the saying? They're just kind of tough to crack. Like, they are very capable, but for whatever reason lack the motivation to sometimes do what they need to do to get the grades that they are more than capable of earning. So I met with that student's mom and him, and we just kind of talked to him about what are his strategies, what does he need from us. And he wasn't very responsive, so it was a little bit challenging, but I said what I had to say in terms of I would like to help you and support you, but at the same time, your mom and I need you to kind of do the things that you have to do. We can't make you sit down and do the work the way we know that you can do it. So it just kind of was one of those tough meetings where the adults in the room are trying to say, look, this is what we need to do. But now it just kind of boils down to the child actually putting forth that effort. The good news is that he got his chapter math test back today, and he got a B, which is I think the highest grade he's gotten all year. I could be wrong, but he typically does not pass the math test. And he doesn't pass them not because he doesn't understand, but because he just kind of rushes through them and has no work to show that I can at least decipher what he's trying to do. Whereas this past chapter test, his work was very clear, neat, well organized, straightforward, and he did really well. And I know that he did well and was able to do that because I'm pretty sure his mom talked to him from the second trimester report card to the time that he took the test. So I just showed her, you know, the positive, even though he wasn't very responsive at this meeting, is that whatever it is you've said to him since getting that report card and now stuck, because he had never turned a test that well worked out that I can recall. So that's pretty much how I spent my time after school. I'm getting ready to go home. I thought I was gonna go to the mall to get my batteries replaced in my watches, but I just realized I left some makeup items that I need to return at Macy's as well, and I'd rather go there one time as opposed to going twice. So I don't think I'm gonna go to the mall and get those watches fixed today because I don't want to make 2 trips when I can just make 1. So that's pretty much it. Tomorrow's gonna be pretty low-key. We have a field trip to a wetlands facility in our area. That is half the day. Then we will come back. It will be around lunchtime. I owe the kids extra recess because we were in a tie for spirit wear last week, and then they will be getting their height and their weight checked by the nurse, which is something she has to do with the 5th graders. So I'm going home at 4 o'clock on the dot, so I'm kind of excited about that. I don't have a whole lot of grading to do. I have to record some grades so that I can turn the papers back in, but that is pretty much it. Haven't gotten any word today on whether my transfer was approved, and if so, to where. So I'm still waiting. So I'm gonna end the vlog for here, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Good morning. Here's my outfit of the day. Today it's pretty basic because we are going on a field trip. So I'm wearing my jeans, a blue top from J. Crew Factory, a cardigan from New York & Company, and then I'm wearing some gray Chucks that I don't really care about because we're gonna be walking around in dirt. And then I've never showed you guys this, but I am covering it. I do have an origami owl lanyard that I put on for the field trip, and then my Tiffany's bracelet. So that is it. I'll talk to you guys a little bit later.
Gases. Okay, but you guys forgot about one thing that nobody ever thought about. What about all the manure from the farmlands and our animal waste from having dogs? What? Like the, you know, the animal waste, like the poo, right? Okay, so that's what this is. This is the poo. Where do you guys think that there's poo at?
Over there.
In the dairy, there's kind of a lot there, right?
Yeah, they are.
Nope, it's poo. It's manure.
It's poo now.
When it rains.
Everything goes inside the ocean inside.
It kind of washes away, it goes down our watershed into our ocean, right? So that's what you guys are gonna do. There's gonna be a rainstorm, and you guys are gonna take this, don't aim it at each other, and you guys are gonna make it rain. Everybody's gonna do 10 to 12 skirts. So
that's how we're gonna curve.
So I'm gonna have you guys form two lines right here. So when you do it, just spray it kind of close. It's 3:11. I'm packing up because I am getting ready not to go home, but I am going to a district union meeting, which is our regularly scheduled meeting. And then after that, we are having like a town hall styled meeting for anyone who has questions about the tentative agreement that we've come to. The purpose of that part of the meeting is just to kind of answer any of those questions before we ask teachers to vote. So I need to be at that school site by 3:30, so I need to get on the road because it is just about 3:15. We had our field trip today, and I gotta tell you, this is probably one of the most low-key field trips in terms of it's free, it's not a full day, but this turned out to be one of the more hectic days, despite the fact that it's one of the easiest field trips. Problem number one was I got here early, so the morning started off great, but then when it was time to pick up my kids, get them ready to go, I realized one of my students had the permission slip for the school but did not have the waiver for the field trip that we were going on, and they will not let the children participate at that site without the waiver because we are around like contaminated water and they're walking upstairs, and they just want to make sure the kids are safe, so they don't let the kids participate excuse me, if their parent doesn't sign that waiver. So she didn't have the waiver signed, so then I quickly tried to call the mom, but I got her voicemail, so then I called the house because the student told me that she had an adult at home, which happened to be her grandmother. Asked her grandmother, by this point it was 8:23 and we were scheduled to leave at 8:30. Asked the grandmother, could she come down really quick, sign this waiver, giving her grandchild permission. She couldn't because she was taking care of a baby that was handicapped at home, so she couldn't leave home. So then I called the office and said, can the principal drive to the grandma to fill it out? But the principal was not able to do that. So then I had to make arrangements for that particular student to go to Mrs. Hassan's class because Mrs. Hassan is going on this field trip tomorrow. So she spent the day in Mrs. Hassan's class. I told her to get the waiver signed tonight, and then she'll be able to attend the field trip with Mrs. Hassan's class tomorrow. So that happened. Then we went on the field trip, and I was a little disappointed with my class, my kids' behavior. Number one, 10 of my kids were put in Mrs. Chu's class, so it was a smaller group, but too many times the person that was leading the group had to tell and remind my kids that if they were talking while she was talking, they weren't listening. And that is a huge deal to me. Like I tell my kids, I don't care if it's an adult speaking or your classmate speaking, proper respect is to listen to the person that is speaking to you, and they just did not do a good job with that. And so when we got back, I let them know that I was disappointed. They were supposed to get their extra recess today because they won Spirit Wear last week, but I said we're not going to do that today because they didn't earn it. So that happened. Then we had an issue with another student on our bus. We had an issue with another student in another class on the way home from the field trip. We had to pull over the bus for a minute to kind of get things under control. So that meant we got back here a little bit later. And then I just basically sent my kids off to the nurse's office because the nurse takes the heights and the weights of our 5th graders at around this time of year. So I had to send them 5 at a time to get that done, which meant I couldn't really do any teaching or do anything of too much value because I was having kids coming and going. So we pretty much came back. I gave my little speech that said I was disappointed and I know they could have done better. And then we watched an episode of Liberty's Kids, corrected the homework from last night, and then school was over. So I am so glad this day is over. So I'm getting ready to go to my meeting. I don't know that I will check in anymore because I am wiped out. I don't know if I said this in my previous vlog when I went on a field trip, but if you are new to teaching or you are thinking about teaching, field trip days just take everything out of you because you're doing your regular job, but there's a lot of crowd control because you're in an unfamiliar environment for the kids. They're overly excited. You're trying to make sure that they're in the right spot and that you have them with you at all times. So I don't know that I'll be checking in anymore today. If I do, it'll be an added bonus, but I'm not sure. So I'm gonna say goodbye for now. And I still don't have any word on my transfer. I and Liza, we are waiting at the mailboxes, just waiting, and we still don't have any word today, so maybe tomorrow. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Good morning, here's my outfit of the day. Today I am wearing a maxi dress that I got from New York & Company a long time ago. And I am wearing a crop jean jacket from, I'm not sure where this is from because this was actually a Christmas present from my mom a couple years ago. I'm wearing some sandals that I ordered from DSW over the summer. And my necklace that I got from an Etsy shop that just has the letter L on it. My gold Michael Kors watch, and then just a bunch of bracelets, and these I believe are from like H&M or something. So that is it. I will talk to you guys later. I'm gonna try this again. I just vlogged a whole bunch and then felt like I was talking a whole nother language because I was trying to do multiple things at a time. So I said, let me sit myself down and go over my day. So it is 5:05 and I am getting ready to go home. As far as our day went, it was a typical Thursday. We did a math lesson. We're in chapter 10 of Go Math. We're working on customary units of measurement and conversions. So I taught that lesson. We finished up our writing assignment that we were working on together to prepare them for the assignment that they will be doing on their own. And then I introduced the assignment. So they just got started on that today. Basically, their task is they are given 2 articles that talk about fuel efficient cars, and what they have to do is they have to compare and contrast the author's viewpoints of both articles, make sure they use text evidence in their writing, and that's pretty much it. So we read the prompt together, we analyzed the prompt together, underlined the phrases that dictate to them what needs to be done and what will I be looking for, and then I reminded them of all the steps that we took in our writing together, from the very beginning. So reading the articles, or reading the sources, circling the big idea of every paragraph, underlining the supporting details, making a plan, coming up with our rough draft. So I said all of the things that we did together because that's my way of telling you or showing you this is what I would expect you to do when you're asked to do something like this on your own. So I did explicitly tell them that, because I realized even though we teachers know that we're teaching them or guiding them through an assignment or a lesson because we want them to transfer those skills to an assignment that we give to them independently, they don't know that. They just think you're up there teaching for no real reason, and they probably aren't even connecting the two. So I told them that. They got started. I did tell them that this one was gonna have a time limit. So I said it needs to be done by the end of the day tomorrow. So I very briefly talked about time management and said, if you know you're one of those students that tends to just kind of sit and stare at the paper and say, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this, or think about, I'd rather be playing basketball outside, you're gonna have to manage your time a little bit better, because there does come a point where you're dragging out an assignment so long that it no longer is productive. So they got started today. I'm gonna give them to the end of the day tomorrow. The bulk of their day will be spent doing that, aside from taking a customary units conversion quiz that we're gonna give them. And then after school, we had a staff meeting. At the staff meeting, it was nice and short. We learned that as a school, and I believe as a district, we're gonna be transitioning to PBIS-based discipline. And PBIS, let's see if I can remember what it stands for. I know it's Positive Behavior Intervention Support. I always forget what the I is, and I'm not sure I said the S right. But the gist of it is, you know, typically with discipline, a student just does something wrong. We tell them that was wrong, you weren't supposed to do that, and then they have a consequence. So the premise of this is that you need to, as a part of your discipline program, teach kids the behaviors that you expect to see, support them in the behaviors that you would like for them to see so that they can internalize it. And we're at the very beginning stages, so I guess one of the first things that a school has to do when it's transitioning to this system is establish common areas and expectations for those common areas. So we did a little activity with their grade level. We talked about what the common areas should be in our opinion. We had to choose 3. So I know my grade level chose the bathrooms, because kids love doing things in the bathrooms, which is strange. The multi-purpose room, which is our cafeteria, and bathroom, the multi-purpose room, and hallways, and said we feel like those would be the 3 areas to focus on. And then every other grade level chose their top 3, and I guess we will go from there after that. So that will be getting underway next school year. And then I came back to my room to read my response journals for the day. So far I'm about a week, almost a week into doing this. Every time someone realizes what I'm doing, they're like, oh my gosh, you write back to every student. I do. So far it hasn't been too bad, because on average I'm reading about 6 a day. It doesn't take long to read them because they're not writing super long letters, and it doesn't really take that long to respond to them. So I came back and did those so that I didn't have to haul them home. And so far some kids are really doing a good job with understanding that, okay, so she doesn't want a summary, she wants me to really talk about what she's thinking. And you know, they're telling me what they're thinking, or they're telling me about what questions they have as they read, and my response is based on that. And then some kids are still kind of stuck in the, I'm gonna give you a summary, or I'm gonna tell you I felt happy, but I'm not gonna tell you why I felt happy. So there's a lot of me reminding them of, okay, I know you feel happy, and I know this is what you said your reaction was, but I need you to take it a step further and then tell me, why did you feel happy, or why was that your reaction? So I know that is something that will come with time. One thing I have noticed is one of my students who's kind of, she's not a lower reader, well, she's kind of on the lower end. She's definitely behind grade level in terms of her reading and comprehension ability, but she's very good verbally. Like if you ask her to explain her thinking or her opinion, she's very good at that. And so she's doing a really good job on her journal. So she is reading the book, All Rise for the Honorable Perry T. Cook, which is a book that I've read. So luckily I know this book and I know what happens. And she's in the very beginning. So for those of you that haven't read it, it's a story about a little boy that was born in prison and has been able to grow up with this mom in prison because she's in prison. And so for a while, they don't really tell you what the mom is in prison for. You just know that she's there, and she's there for 15 years, and her son lives there. So her questions have been based on, why is the mom, like I think her first response was, why is the mom in jail? And so I told her, I've read the book, and luckily you will find out why the mom is in jail. But I asked her, why do you think the mom is in jail? So this week's response, she said back to me that she thinks the mom is in jail because she did something like murder somebody, because her rationale is, you're not going to be in jail for 15 years if you did something minor, like had a car accident or something small. And so she's convinced that the mom, when she was pregnant with Perry, for whatever reason, murdered the dad, and that's why she's in jail for 15 years. And I told her, I like your prediction. I'm not gonna say if it's correct or not, but I like it because it's logical. Like, it makes sense. Like, she was able to explain it. So that is really rewarding to see journal entries like that, especially from a student who struggles a little bit with reading. So that's what I did on my way back, or when I got back from my staff meeting. I still don't know if my transfer was approved, and if so, to where. The rumor is we're supposed to get official word tomorrow, so hopefully it's tomorrow that I find out. And aside from that, not much else has happened. It's been a good week. I've gone to the gym every morning, so I've been redeeming myself from last week. I've gotten home at a decent hour, and I can't ask for anything more right now because it just feels good to get home and the sun is still out, and I don't feel like I gotta go home, eat, and then go to bed. So I'm gonna head home now, and I don't even think I have grading to do. I might go home and enter some grades into my electronic grade book so that I don't get as backed up as I once was. So I'm gonna say see you later from here for today. And I will check in with you tomorrow, especially because I think I'm gonna find out tomorrow where I end up. And oh, and the other thing, next week I'm on spring break, so I won't be vlogging at all, I don't think, because I don't have anything exciting planned. And I'm gonna take a break from vlogging for the week just to keep myself fresh and not let myself get burnt out on the process. But I know a couple of you that have asked for like a Q&A, or I know there was a tag about, there was a teacher tag where there were certain questions teachers were answering, and I was intending to participate in that, but I was just kind of overwhelmed at that time and I did it. So if you guys have any questions for me, maybe I'll do a Q&A video so that I can upload that the Sunday of my spring break so that you feel like you're getting a video. And if for some reason I can't get it together and upload it that Sunday, I will eventually answer the questions and upload a video like that in the near future. So if you have any questions, any burning questions you have about my teaching experience or my teaching life or about me as a person, feel free to ask them or type them in the comment section below, and then I'll try and track the questions and answer some of them if that's something that you guys are interested in. If not, don't worry about it. If you don't want to know anything besides what I've already told you, no problem. I won't be offended. So I'm gonna shut my computer down, grab my bags, and I'm gonna go home, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Good morning, here's my outfit of the day. Today I'm wearing some white jeans that I bought from Express several years ago. I'm wearing this top from H&M that has birds on it, and then an orange cardigan that is from the Gap, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but it's old. And then some tan flats from a little cheap shop at a mall, a white and gold Michael Kors watch, and then I'm wearing this necklace that is also a bird that I got from Charming Charlie. So I can't remember if I've worn this outfit before, but if I have, sorry for the repeat. But this is my outfit of the day. I think I'm gonna head to get an iced coffee this morning, so I'll talk to you later.
Hi, good morning. How can I help you?
Hi, can I have a medium sugar-free iced coffee with 1 Splenda? Or actually 2 Splendas, and that's it?
Just a medium sugar free vanilla iced coffee with 2 button.
Yeah. Thank you. Hi. Thank you. You too. Oh, I've had a very tumultuous 20 minutes. So the last time you saw me, I was giving you my little outfit of the day, feeling good about myself because I was leaving early enough to get an iced coffee, went downstairs, let Genesis out for the morning, grabbed my things to go, and then proceeded to leave. And I was trying to put Genesis' little dog gate to keep her confined because she cannot be trusted to roam the house. And for some reason, the little gate just wouldn't fit into the grooves of the wall where it's supposed to. And I literally spent 5 minutes tackling a baby gate that I use to keep her confined. My lunch bag, my work bag. I'm pretty sure I said several bad words because I was just so frustrated that I thought I was not going to be able to have coffee in the morning because I'm dealing with trying to fix a gate to keep my dog confined. So needless to say, I lost my patience on that, and that was not one of my high moments. And then I got in the car at 7:25, which I figured is still enough time for me to get my iced coffee. And then just the little short distance that I have to travel from my house to McDonald's was just annoying because people didn't want to drive. They were making ridiculous moves, and I just, oh. I just finished reading my student response journals for the day, and I'm getting ready to go home. I did not find out about my transfer today. Now I'm being told it's going to be tomorrow, so that didn't happen. But I'm 99.9% sure it's going to happen tomorrow because we were told by personnel that we would find out before we went to spring break, and tomorrow is the last day before spring break, so I think my chances are good. I know I was a bit flustered this morning, and the day got a little bit better, and then it got a little bit worse, and then it got a little bit better, and now I'm fine. Today was just filled with a math quiz and their writing assessment, and I believe that I showed you the prompt yesterday that they were given, and the kids were given 2 articles to read about smart cars, and they were asked to compare and contrast the viewpoints of the 2 authors, you know, using some text evidence, and that's pretty much all they had to do. And so as some kids finished, I just spot checked it, so if they finish, I just asked to see their rough draft and their planning page. And what I did was I looked at their planning page to kind of see what their opening paragraph was going to say and their notes and details that they were planning to use, and quickly realized that a good chunk of them, well no, I can't even say that, not a good chunk, all the ones that I spot checked were responding to a prompt that did not exist. So they were giving me summaries, they were giving me their opinion, and I had to say, I don't see where in your writing right now you are comparing and contrasting the viewpoints of authors. Now 2 kids I told that to and said this whole thing it's wrong. Like if you turn this in, you would get a lot of points taken off because you're not even responding to the prompt. And you would think that they would go back to their seat and say, you know what, let me fix it.
my teacher just told me this whole thing is wrong. But no, they went and sat back down and just got right on back to reading their book, and I was just dumbfounded. So of course I let them know that that was not the response that I was looking for, and told them that they would need to try again. And so that was very frustrating and disappointing. And they reluctantly tried again. We also took spring pictures today, and then that was really it. We took that math quiz on conversions and then writing, and then that was my whole day. Tomorrow we're having something called an all-in day in our district, which is something we've not done before. So tomorrow's the Friday before spring break. It's a minimum day, and some parents are tempted to say, you know what, you don't need to go to school tomorrow. It's a minimum day. Spring break is starting. I'm sure you're not gonna do anything important, so just stay home, which in turn causes the school site to lose money for the attendance of a student. So to promote attendance on the Friday before spring break, one of the superintendents of our district came up with this idea of having an all-in day where you promote 100% attendance, and you try and do a fun activity that you wouldn't maybe otherwise do, or something that feels special to the kids, promote it to the parents and the kids, and have in the hopes that they come. So tomorrow my plan is to give them some time to do a coding activity. So I thought I would share that with you as best. Well, there's not much that I can show you right now because I need to set it up, and I don't have the time to do it just right now. But I can tell you that the website code.org, and I'll try and list it in the description box, is a website that is great for kids, and it's free. Like, there's activities you can have your students do for free, and if you want to get a little bit more involved, you can go to a code.org training. That is a one-day training. At least when I went, it was one day, and it was on a Saturday, and this was last year, and I think it cost maybe $300 or so. I'm not sure because I didn't pay for it. The principal paid for it for us if we were interested, but it was really good, and it was really eye-opening. And what was eye-opening about it was the person that led it kind of equated having or giving kids access to things like coding activities or computer science lessons or anything along those lines, equated that to them having access to textbooks. And at first I was like, really? I don't really see the connection. But by law, kids are entitled to textbooks because they need it to learn, and they need to learn to be successful. And he was basically saying the future of society is heavily based on computers and computer science, and kids need to be able to be, or kids need to be provided some foundational skills in acquiring that ability and knowledge, knowing that when they're an adult, that is the environment that they're going to be looking for jobs in. So to think of giving them time to work on coding at the elementary level, or computer science classes, having access to those at the high school level, to think of those as like electives or special things, that should be a thing of the past, because it is the society we live in now. And I believe that that is true. So I wish my intention this year was to carve out some time for coding activities throughout the school year, and that was one of those lofty ideas I had in the summer, and then the reality of the school year and the demand set in, and I have not done it at all. Tomorrow will be the first time that I've done it, but you know, I don't feel like that's my fault. It's just I'm trying to keep up with the responsibilities that we have when it comes to testing, because unfortunately it's about the test a lot. So, but anyway, when you go to the training, you do get this manual, and the manual tells you all these different lessons you can do. There's not a whole lot of materials that you need, and the materials that you do need can be found here. And then the website just has a lot of different activities that you can give kids, and it ranges for as young as kids who aren't reading yet, like, you know, kindergarten, maybe even preschool, to I think at least the middle school for sure, maybe even the high school level. So my plan is to give them some time tomorrow, kind of show them an activity where they're just kind of going through a series of mazes that seems like a game to them, but it's teaching them the very basics of coding, and like directing something using a code and directional instructions. So that is my plan tomorrow, and maybe if I have time, I'll kind of give you a little bit more of a look inside this manual or at the website itself. But quite honestly, it is 4:55 and I need to get out of here because I have to go to Target and buy a baby shower card and gift, because we have a staff member that will be going out on maternity leave as of at the end of tomorrow, so we won't see her after spring break. So we are chipping in as a grade level to get her a card and a gift card to Target. And I have to cook tonight a Blue Apron meal, so I want to get home before it gets too late. So I didn't find out my transfer information today. Hopefully tomorrow. If not tomorrow, I'll probably just start crying because I'm so anxious about it all. But yeah, it was an interesting day to say the least. So I'm out. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I hope you have a good evening or good morning or whatever time of day it is, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Good morning. Here's my outfit of the day. Today I am wearing jeans because it is Friday, and it is the Friday before spring break, so it's an extra special Friday. These jeans are from Old Navy. This yellow top is a tank top that's from H&M that my mom bought for me. I'm wearing a white tank top underneath that and a gray cardigan that I wore earlier this week from The Gap. I am wearing my black sandals from Nordstrom that are several years old, and a silver Fossil watch. I've put on my origami owl lanyard because I need to wear this more often, and that's it. So I will talk to you guys a little bit later. Hey guys, it is 2:27. School was out an hour and 15 minutes ago, and I just stuck around because I wanted to finish grading the math quizzes that I gave today, and then Liza and I were talking, and then I graded the States and Capitals test and got some other things done because spring break has started and I will not be taking any work home with me. I will not be doing any grading, so I'd rather just get it done now so that I can take a full break off. But the exciting news of the day is I got the results of my transfer request, and I will be at, it would be, remember it was between middle school and the new school, and I was going back and forth, but I officially found out that I will be heading to the new school in our district, and I am so excited about it. And what was really nice is the principal of that new school, and I have to kind of cover this up, came by just before we were going to lunch, so I found out about the results of my transfer request through email. And then just before we went to lunch at 12:30, the principal of the new school and her secretary came by to say congratulations in person and say that they were happy that I was going to be joining the staff. And then she gave me this little gift here, or this little treat here that says for my peeps, and it just has the name of the school and their two little peeps. And I just thought that was so nice. So I obviously interviewed with this principal, and then she was kind of facilitating a meeting, one of the aspiring leaders meetings I went to last week or 2 weeks ago, and I just got a good vibe from her then, and that was one of the deciding factors in me kind of deciding to put in for the new school for sure, and I'll talk about that in a second. And the fact that she stopped by to say congratulations just kind of confirmed the general impression I had of her, so I'm really excited to work for someone that seems so sweet and nice and caring. And so just the backstory to it is, you guys know that I think I mentioned early on in these vlogs that there was a new school being built in our district, and I was really interested in trying to transfer there because I thought it would be this amazing experience to be a part of helping to get a new school started and see how to establish a climate and a culture in a school when you're starting from scratch. And then I had some conversations with other people as the school year progressed who are very knowledgeable in, you know, just education and good professional advice givers. And one of them said, you know, if you're looking to change this year, maybe you should think about going to middle school instead. If your end game you think might be going into administration, because you want to be able to show that you can work in both an elementary setting and a middle school setting. And one of the people that gave me that advice, I really respect her. She is very well known in the district, and so when she said that to me, I immediately said, okay, I have to abandon kind of going to the new school and focus on going to middle school, which wasn't a huge deal because middle school has always been something that's been in the back of my mind. For the past few years, I thought it's just a matter of time before I go there. And so when she said that, I just kind of switched gears. And when it came time to fill out my transfer paperwork, I put 2 middle schools down and the new school. And in our district, you get to put down 3 sites that you're interested in transferring to. You rank them in the order of your first choice, second choice, and third choice, and you indicate grade levels and or subjects you'd like to teach if your transfer goes through. So because of those conversations, I put a middle school first, the middle school that I have a relationship with the administrators. I put the new school second, and then I put a different middle school third. And you know what, I felt good about doing that. And then in the process of waiting for the interviews and going through all that, there was still just this little, I don't want to say a nagging feeling, but there was still this big part of me that was like, wow, I'm gonna miss out on the opportunity to see what it's like to open a new school and have just that experience and be able to put that on my resume and just know what that's like, or witness the culture of a school being built from the ground up. And I just couldn't shake it. I couldn't shake the feeling of, if you just go straight and make number school your top priority, you may be closing the doors on that experience. And so when I went to my last aspiring leaders meeting, the people that ran it, one of them was the principal of the new school, just shared their experience and how they progressed throughout the district and how they got to be where they're at now. And you know, the sentiment was like, sometimes it's okay to make decisions in your professional life based on what you really feel in your heart you want to do at that moment. And that really spoke to me, and I couldn't ignore it. I felt like there was a reason why I heard that. And when I left that meeting, I thought, you know, I might need to switch the order on my transfer form if I'm able to do that, because there's a reason why that feeling of like, you're really giving up this opportunity to potentially work at a new school and all that entails, you might be giving that up, and are you okay with that? And at the end of the day, I wasn't 100% okay with giving up on that. So I contacted the superintendent of personnel and let him know that I wanted to switch the order. And I just kind of, and I also let the principal of the new school know that I was switching the order, so that she was aware of that, and let the principal of the middle school that I had put first know that I was switching the order, so that she was aware of that, because I didn't want anyone to feel like I was misleading them or that they were blindsided. So I did it, and then this past week I've been waiting to see what comes of that. And so I am going to the new school because I did put that as my first choice. And what has been rewarding about this process is I really just, it felt good to be validated. I know I was told that I did well at the interviews, and that both sites were interested, the new school obviously and the middle school where I had that relationship. So it really was great to know that both of those principals were ready, willing, and able to take me in if I wanted to be there. And it was just nice to know. It was nice to know that my work is being recognized, and that I'm not here pulling my hair out sometimes for nothing. So I am excited. I will be at the new school. I am well aware that working at a new school and being there is a lot of work, because you literally are going to a building with a name but no resources to start. And I get that there's that piece of it, but I also am just super excited about seeing how a culture of a school is developed. And I've not heard anything but positive things about the person that is the principal there, and I am looking to learn a lot from her and the process and the experience. So I can check that off my list. I do know that. I don't know what grade level I'm teaching just yet. Hopefully I will find out a couple weeks after we get back from spring break. I'm hoping and praying that it's 5th grade, because that is my favorite grade. But I did tell her I am flexible and I will teach anything. The only grade level that I would prefer not to teach is 4th grade. And if you're a 4th grade teacher out there and you take offense, I'm sorry. It's just I have taught 4th grade before, and I just wasn't excited about the curriculum like I am about 5th grade curriculum. Like, I really do enjoy 5th grade curriculum. I enjoy the math, I enjoy the social studies, the language arts. It doesn't really matter what grade I'm in that regard, but math, social studies, and science, I much prefer 5th grade over 4th. So that's the next thing I'm going to be waiting on. So that was my Friday. So the fact that this is the Friday before spring break, it was a minimum day. I had another iced coffee at McDonald's, and I got confirmation as to where I will be next year. All in all, made it a great Friday. So I am going to go home. I'm going to finish recording the scores from the test that I graded. I'm actually putting stickers on them right now. I do use sentence stickers for any student who gets a B or higher. So I'm gonna put the stickers on, I'm gonna get those in the box to be filed, and then I'm gonna order myself a salad from Panera as a treat, and then I'm gonna go home and just relax and enjoy the fact that I will be off for the next week, and I intend to do nothing really productive. I'm not sure if I'll upload next Sunday. It just depends on how deep into laziness I allow myself to get. If I feel motivated, I will upload one, and it will be a Q&A if you guys actually have questions. And if not, I will definitely see you 2 weekends from now. So just in case I don't upload, thank you. This part of the process is done. Again, thank you everybody who was giving me words of encouragement, supporting, telling me all these nice encouraging sentiments and thoughts. I really do appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to I think I'll keep vlogging next year. I'm pretty sure I will. It will be fun to vlog that experience. What is it like, A, moving classrooms, B, going to a brand new school where everything and every experience is new. So that should be fun. But I'm gonna finish up here. I'm gonna go home. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. They really do help. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And other than that, I will see you guys when I see you, because I'm not sure if it's gonna be next week, but just in case, I will see you guys when I see you. Have a great weekend, everybody, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. It is a little bit after 8 o'clock. I just got home from the PTO 80s family game night. It was actually quite easy to work at. I just worked at the candy table with Mrs. Trejo.